In this video I'm going to talk about oil pastels, oil sticks and water-soluble oil pastels. I'm going to talk about the benefits and the differences between them and how you can enhance your artwork with these products. I'm going to demonstrate on one of my wild floral abstracts some of the marks that you can make with these products and the results that you can achieve. I'll also show you on another artwork of mine some of the marks as well. So by the end of this you will be able to sort of make up your mind what product you like the best, or whether you like all of them for all the different reasons I'm going to point out. I love them all and they can enhance your artwork tremendously. They're really good for mark making, they're really good for highlighting, and you know, at the end of a painting they can really lift an artwork. So I hope you'll enjoy this video and I hope it'll encourage you to try some of these products and enhance your own artwork. Hi, it's Tracy from Artici, where we help artists of all levels discover new art techniques, create better art and get more joy from painting. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell to make sure that you don't miss out on the latest tips for improving your art practice. All the links to find everything I mentioned in this video can be found in the description box below. So let's jump into it. I'm here to show you the different beautiful oil sticks and oil pastels that are available and how it can enhance your work. And the first one I'm going to show you is a Cinelli Air Oil Stick. Now when you get them, you have to peel off the hardened surface that's created, and that's because they really are oil in a stick, and as it dries a film is created. So to start you need to peel it off to get to the soft creamy centers. And a little tip before we start, I often after using them wrap them up in a piece of cling wrap, and this will give you a couple of weeks before they dry out with the air anyway, and you'd have to re-peel them again. Now on this piece here I've been playing with the sticks and they are really so yummy and creamy. Now the oil sticks are just like oil paint in a bar, and you can use your solvents and linseed oil to blend and move your paint around and create quite a thin underpainting. In some cases a lot of artists use these oil sticks at the beginning because they are a very expressive drawing tool, and that's what makes your art very interesting, is the mark making that an artist has, the strokes, your gestural marks can make a piece very exciting, and they're fabulous on top of painting. And when you don't thin them down, they are really lovely on top of a painting to create thick gestural strokes and marks. You can also use them to block out something that you've painted in oils underneath. They're very thick and creamy, so when they're thin they can be used in the first layers, but when you apply them very thickly they're usually used on the surface. And later on I'm going to show you that done on some of mixed media works of mine. What I love too is the strength of the pigments. They're so rich and thick and beautiful when you lay them down. It's so creamy, you can just see how gorgeous the colour is. And that's another brand that I like, which is Shiva, and it's again an oil stick, and you know, you can blend them in, you can blend colours together, you can do all sorts of things with them. Now some people call them oil sticks and other people call them oil bars and pigment sticks, and these just dry out exactly like oil paints do, and they do create the film on top. Whereas an oil pastel, unlike an oil stick, it doesn't dry out, and you will have to use a fixative on your painting at the end to be able to seal the surface. The oil pastels come in lots and lots of colours, lots of sets you can buy, and are probably a little bit more economical than the oil bars. Some artists paint completely with an oil stick, and they come in very big sizes and you can lay them on very thickly right from the beginning. But really the oil pastels are used a lot more on the top of artworks, and to get beautiful strokes, beautiful lines, beautiful gestural work. And like both products, You can thin them with your oil mediums, with your linseed oil, with your solvent. So you treat them just like oils, and that you can, add some solvent to them and smush them around and thin them, or you can just put them down in a very thick manner. You can leave them like a drawing, a very crayon look, or you can smooth them out and create a very blended look. Some people use, stumps, and some people use sponges, all sorts of things to rub into their oil sticks or oil pastels. The oil pastels were actually, the first ones were in 1925 and created by Sakura, or the brand Cray. And here I have a set, and they come in a big range of colours, and this is the specialist set, and it's really, really beautiful. The colour range is superb, and these specialist sticks, the higher end, are made in a square shape, and the beauty of the square shape is that you can do lots of very fine lines if you turn it on its side. They are again an oil pastel that you can blend with your mediums, and what I love about it, the range of colours is so tremendous in the oil pastels for not an expensive price, and you can layer the light lines over other pastel, over acrylic and water-based products. You can draw marks and lines and block out things and blend, and they really, really help to make that beautiful mark making and gestural work that really makes artwork pop. Now, the other type of waxy oil crayon that I love is the Caran, and a lot of people know these. They've been around for a while. They're a Swiss product, and they are so gorgeous. They're water soluble, the NeoColor range, and I've had more than one set over the years, and I have loved these because you can lay down thick areas. They're very creamy. You can blend them just like the other pastels, but you can add water, and I find that these are so beautifully water soluble. You can create lovely runs of colour and drips. They really, really dissolve, as you can see, very easily, and you can create some stunning effects in loose artwork, semi-abstracts, abstracts. It's just fabulous for doing lots of things, is adding in the water soluble oil pastel. And you can work into a wet area, and they just go all smooshy and gorgeous. You can create the drips with the water. You can use these first on an underpainting, and then you can come back with your, when it's dry, your oil pastels that aren't water soluble, and make some beautiful strong marks on top. So they're all mixable to one another. You just have to understand that the water goes under the oil, not on top, and that the thinned out oil goes on the bottom, and when you add the thick creamy sticks in a very thick form, because there's a lot of fat in the oil paint, that's your top layer. So really, really great for that mark making on the top, and accentuating things, and even blocking out things. You can mix the colours together. You can lay down a colour and then add another colour, and with your finger or a blending stump, you can smush it in and create another shade of a colour. So they are really, really, really a really fantastic thing to add to your oils or over your acrylics and water-based media. You can do so much with them, and I love the fact that it's the mark making that makes a lot of art a lot more artistic, and it shows the artist's handwriting, and with these sticks you have that ability to create these beautiful marks. I'll show you now in some of my other videos what you can do on the surface of paintings. Here I've just worked on canvas paper, but you can use these on your canvas and other different substrates. They go on lots of different surfaces and over different mediums. So I have a ground that I've put down, which has been acrylic paint, and they do work really well over an acrylic base or any water-soluble base that's dry. And now I'm playing with the different pastels. Now, one pastel I will mention is an oil pastel with the square sides, which means that you can draw a lot more accurate marks on your piece, and you can still blend them, and they are an oil pastel that you can mix with linseed oil. You can mix with some of the mediums like your Galkide Light, just the refined linseed oil, and blend them and make them sheerer. And you can block in areas of colour and sort of smoosh it in with your finger, blend it, and highlight a foundation, bring out sort of a little bit of the colour that you want. They really are good for highlights. A lot of people buy a lot of the pastels in the lighter tones because a foundation's done, and that's usually has the darks in it. And then you find that if you have the lights, you can bring out some more patterns or mark making on top with the light and highlight areas that you may have missed when you were painting, all those sorts of things. Now, the oil pastels, they are different to the oil sticks, and I'll probably mention this more than once, but they don't ever dry out. They always keep a little bit moist, but sometimes you apply them quite thinly, and I don't think it's a real problem. When you apply them very thickly, you've just got to be careful not to scratch them or mark them. So both these are fabulous things to have in your supplies. A huge range of colours, as I said, in these with the square side, and they're really creamy too. I'll use my fingers on that one, and you can see that this is a lot less expensive a brand. It's got the square shape, which is really handy if you want to get some say stripy marks, things that you want to be a sharper, finer line. So I'll just show you a little Sennelier pastel. I mean, the colours are gorgeous, and I'm going to use some of these on another painting, but they really are really creamy as well, and they're a smaller shape than the big sticks, and as I said, they don't dry out, but there's nothing wrong with that. Look at that lovely colour, and they just slide on the canvas. They're just so nice and smushy and wonderful to blend with. So I'll work on this little piece and bring it up more. It is just a free form abstract base, and I'll show you some of the other marks that you can do. This is a fun painting which has a lot to go on it before I finish it. There's some parts that are too dark, there's parts where I want to get some more marks in, so you can just virtually draw and blend and come up with some fabulous things. You can have it left quite loose. This is a very loose piece, and the beauty of it is that you can use it for outlines. It's sort of drawing and painting at the same time, and work on a piece, bring up your light areas. They are fabulous for bringing in your highlights, and they're really good in big paintings for doing a lot of more gestural strokes when you want really, a really free tool to draw with, and you can draw on the surface. So, I can play around for a long time on this piece to really bring it up to where I want the colours to be alive. And that's the other beauty of the pastels. When they're laid on top, they really can bring, an incredible vibrancy. And I love colour. I love the Impressionists. I love, playing with colour and colour combinations, and you can really play to your heart's content with these. And just look at some of these colours. This is the Cinelli, and they are so creamy. They're really beautifully creamy. It just slides on. They really are one of the best pastels in my opinion. Look at the punch the colours have. His pigments are just like nobody else's pigments in my opinion. They're really beautiful. So, you know, have lots of fun. There's so many things you can do with these, and you know, don't be frightened to also get the pastel and dip it straight into linseed oil and make it really go all smushy and put it on really thick. I mean, you can apply the sticks onto a surface thickly and then use a palette knife to scrape into or blend, even scraping tools to spread it around on a larger piece. Here's another piece that's a mini of a painting that I'm going to do large, so you can just see where the colour's been popped in and how it just pops off the page. And you know, it's the texture of it, it's the richness of it, it's the creaminess of it. They are really yummy. So I hope you have lots of fun trying out some of these products and seeing if they work with the style of painting that you do. Another brand I'll show you is Shiva. It's you can buy them in little sample packs of these really short stubby ones, and these are an oil stick, or you know, and they really are creamy too. They're a cheaper way of buying because you can buy a tiny little stick. But if you're doing really, you know, bigger pieces on canvas, you're going to want this sort of size stick. But if you're working in a journal or on small pages A3 and A4, you know, you might like to buy some of these to get an idea of whether you know, you want to play around with these. But you could see how yummy they are and how they mush in, and they are just fabulous on a ground, any type of ground. It could be, I could have laid down a ground with stencils and put patterns down. I like to design fabrics, so I love playing with floral shapes, and you know, this on top, it just really brings the colours out, brings the richness and thickness to the paint, because this particular piece I laid down with a lot of ink, a lot of airbrush ink as well, airbrush acrylic, and it's very thin underneath, and it does lack the richness of something that's painted with a thicker paint. But you can come along with these sticks and pastels and work the piece up to a really rich piece. So I'll go on to working on a bigger piece on canvas and show you what can be done there. So I'm here with my painting, and I have a ground that I have used lots of different products underneath, and some of them are still active and others are non-active, meaning that if I add water to them, some of them will reactivate some of the inks, which I purposely do because I like some of the effects that can be created. But now we're going to be using our oil sticks, and you have to peel back the covering that seals the stick, and if you put it away it will again form a film and you'll have to peel it again. So this has been peeled, and this is nice and moist, and the sticks are really oil in a bar. They're the same as oil paint but in a bar, so it gives us this lovely effect of being able to draw and intensify some of our marks and draw onto areas. And you know, the wonderful thing about these oil bars is that I can sort of smush them with my finger and blend them in, and they are just like oil paint. They will dry. Unlike the pastels, the oil pastels, they will always stay slightly moist. They don't dry out completely like a paint, but you can put on these quite strong marks on top, and you can blend them. You can you know, thin them with your mediums, so we can use our linseed oil. You can use your mediums like my Galcide Light, which I really like, which is a quick drying medium. And so the beauty of a lot of these, I love them for highlighting, for defining areas. I've already done a little bit there, and coming through a painting and creating those extra marks and shapes that you might want to do. So you can scribble them in and have very free marks. This canvas is moving around while I do this, so that you can highlight something. Lots of little little spots you can do, all sorts of things. And it's very direct, it's very fast, it's fabulous for abstracts and definitely for things really loose like something like this. And the colours are just gorgeous, the blues. I might want to put in some white on top of that. But look at that blue. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous colour. And because some of the layers that I have underneath are sheer, the wonderful thing about the oils that they have a lovely thick richness, and the contrast between the two helps to create interest. And I rather like that. What a gorgeous colour. So this is a Cinelli Air stick, and I love them. They're really, really creamy and beautiful, and lots of colours you can get. And you can get some more marks into areas, intensify colours, put colour on colour. You can blend them, all that sort of thing. And I also love the pastels. The pastels, as I said, do not cure like the sticks. They stay moist, but for your price you can get a lovely range of colours, and they're not as expensive investment, and you can get finer lines. You can get really little lines and little marks, and just yummy colours. So I'm not really concentrating at this stage exactly what I want to do with these on this painting. I'm just really showing you some of the marks and how they show up, and that's quite tonal. That's quite a putting tone on tone. But here's the white one in the little one, and it's creamy too. And again, you can blend it and you can mix it with your mediums, with your linseed oil, with other colours. You can do lots and lots of layering with them, and they really are lovely for gestural strokes and loose marks, and the colour range is unbelievable. And Cinelli Air once again have the most glorious colours. But you can also get water-soluble pastels, and there's a number of those out on the market, and you can put those on, and then you can actually wash water on top of it and dilute it, and blend it down. You could also lay it on quite thickly, and I don't really want any more water dribbles on this one, but because this is water soluble, you could create drizzly marks and have drips coming. Again, all blendable with your fingers if you want a blended look. If you want the look of a crayon, obviously you won't blend it. And even these ones that are water soluble, quite intense. You can brighten up areas. You can even, the wonderful thing about them, I find they're great for not just highlighting and accentuating and the gestural marks. They're really good for often blocking out something that you want to get rid of, because they're very opaque and thick and creamy. So, I hope you have lots of fun playing around with the oil pastels, whether you get water soluble or whether you get the beautiful oil sticks, which do come in different sizes, or the oil pastel. They are just yummy to use.